Hi there, I'm Patrick Batson, and today I'm going to give you a quick but thorough look at how our beliefs create our reality. If you've tried to work with the law of attraction, but you've struggled to manifest your desires, this will help you to understand why and start getting better results. It's a little bit complex because we're dealing with esoteric topics, so I'm going to explain it two different ways. So if it doesn't click for you on the first time, stick around, we'll come at it again, and I think by the time we're done, it's going to connect a lot of dots for you. So let's jump right in. Let's begin with a premise. Our beliefs create our reality. Of course, I'm not the first person to say this. If you've ever listened to law of attraction teachers like Abraham Hicks, you're already familiar with the statement, as you believe, so you receive. But how does it actually work? Well, to answer that, we need to look at a simplified map of the human consciousness. The lowest level of consciousness is the conscious mind, which is where our thoughts originate. Above the conscious mind is the subconscious mind, which houses our emotions. And above the subconscious mind is the unconscious mind, and that's where our beliefs are stored. Now you may already be thinking, wait a minute, the subconscious and unconscious are below the conscious mind. That's actually not correct though. From a vibrational frequency point of view, the subconscious operates at a higher frequency than the conscious mind, and the unconscious operates at an even higher frequency, much closer to the high frequency of spirit. In other words, emotion is higher than thought, and belief is higher than emotion. That's why law of attraction teachers stress the importance of not just thinking about what you want to create, but feeling like you have it and believing that you already have it. Now hold that thought for a moment because we'll come back to it. Now, these three elements together comprise the physical mind, also known as the ego structure. It's what gets us out of bed in the morning and enables us to navigate the world. Here are two key things to keep in mind. Both are known and taught by cognitive neuroscience and modern psychology all over the world. First, the conscious mind is capable of processing up to 40 bits of information per second. However, the unconscious mind is capable of processing up to 11 million bits of information per second. It's like a sponge that absorbs everything within our field of vision and experience, whether we're consciously aware of it or not, and most of it we're not consciously aware of. Advertisers in the media know this, and they use it to their advantage. The second key point is that the unconscious mind is driving our lives 95% of the time. That means 95% of our thought, emotion, and action are driven by what is in our unconscious mind. Sigmund Freud offered the analogy of an iceberg to explain how most of what we think and feel emanates from the unconscious rather than the conscious mind, similar to how most of the iceberg is underwater, so we only see the tip of it. Below the surface is where we store most of our beliefs about ourselves and the world, beliefs that are constantly running in the background, driving our thoughts, feelings, and actions. So then, how did these beliefs create our reality? Well, to answer that, we need to take a look at some additional levels of consciousness that exist beyond what we currently know in the physical plane. At the highest level, and the highest frequency of our consciousness as it relates to our physical incarnation, is the soul. The soul exists beyond what we call the veil of time and space reality that defines our physical world. The soul is non-physical and multidimensional. It's the part of us that is fully aware of our inherent connection with all that is, and it does not know separation from source. Below the soul is the higher mind. The higher mind is quasi-physical, meaning that it's aligned to the soul and the soul's unlimited understanding of all creation, but it is also focused on and concerned with our particular physical incarnation. It's through the experience of the physical incarnation that the soul achieves learning and growth, and that's really the whole point of this earth game that we're playing. The higher mind acts as the soul's proxy. It's the overseer of the earth experience, and thus it is constantly available to us. Together, these comprise the higher self, also known as the superconscious self. And even though we are placing it up here for illustration purposes, it's not above us, it's within us. And we can think of the primary access point as residing within our heart center. The higher mind sets the potential plans, or blueprints, for each physical incarnation. I say potential plans because the earth is always a realm of free choice. That said, we incarnate with predetermined themes that we intend to explore. The blueprints, or the framework for exploring those themes, are archetypes that include template beliefs, preloaded beliefs of that archetype which influence our life experiences. These beliefs have both a shadow side and an enlightened side. For example, say that in this lifetime one of the themes you are exploring for the purpose of soul growth is the victim archetype. Typical shadow beliefs of the victim are, they're all out to get me, and nothing ever goes my way. Everyone has it easy but me, and I have to struggle for everything I get. However, the enlightened belief of the victim, as well as many other archetypes, remains aligned with the higher mind's understanding that we are never separate from our source, and thus it believes, I am in charge of what shows up in my life. Everything that comes to me is my creation. I am a sovereign being, and I am a powerful conscious creator. In the physical mind, we're sorting this out through life experience and choice. The physical existence is a manifestation of the higher mind's blueprints for our current incarnation, utilizing our chosen archetypes for this lifetime, but overlaid with the physical mind's viewpoint, which is a culmination of our conscious thoughts, our subconscious emotions, and the vast trove of unconscious beliefs that drive our emotions and our thoughts, and therefore our life experience 95% of the time. In other words, as we believe, so we receive. But where do those limiting beliefs come from anyway? Well, our foundational beliefs are learned from the influential people in our lives, and most of our beliefs about who we are, how the world works, and how we relate to the world are adopted before the age of 7. By age 21, family members, teachers, ministers, peers, and the media have told us who we are and how the world works over 60,000 times, and that sponge that is the unconscious mind has objectively drawn them in and made them our reality. This is our programming, and the unconscious doesn't judge, it just absorbs and responds. It's a positive imaging unit that takes its orders and reflects what it receives. And these beliefs influence our emotions, attitudes, and even our physical structure. Our cells are intelligent, and they listen to our unconscious programs. They then act on their orders from our unconscious to create how we look, feel, and act. The bridge between the higher mind and the physical mind is our imagination. The conscious, intentional use of our amazing imagination is how the physical mind can reach up into the higher mind and connect more fully with the enlightened template beliefs. Thus, by proxy, it connects us with the perspective of the soul and its awareness of our limitless creative potential. This is why Law of Attraction teachers stress the importance of visualizing or imagining what we desire to create. It's what connects us with our non-physical selves that exist outside of time and space. This high vibration, multidimensional realm, also known as the morphic field, or the field of unlimited potential, is where all physical manifestation originates as energy. Through our thoughts and our feelings, which are driven by our beliefs, we direct the energy of unlimited potential into physical matter. Now, the physical mind is capable of accessing and creating through the higher mind's understanding of how magnificent we truly are, but it's constrained by the filters of the shadow beliefs of whatever archetypes we're exploring, plus the limiting beliefs we have accumulated since birth. These are the beliefs about ourselves, the world, and our place in it that lead us to feel disempowered and to choose limiting experiences. While there are many limiting beliefs, two common themes among them are the belief that I am not enough and that I am not worthy. Such limiting beliefs constrict the flow of our creations from the morphic field and into physical manifestation. For example, if you want to manifest a better job, but you hold an unconscious belief that you're not worthy of having a better job, or that you don't deserve it, or that you don't have the capability to perform well in a better job, then those beliefs will block the flow of the right people and circumstances to bring that better job into your life experience. But when we are able to dissolve our limiting beliefs, then the flow of energy from the field and into physical manifestation happens much more easily. This is the crux of how our beliefs create our reality. The physical mind is capable of achieving alignment with the unlimited perspective of the higher mind if our unconscious beliefs will allow it. And when they do, we start to manifest conditions that are more aligned with the higher mind's vision of what our lives can be, and much more aligned with the soul's knowing that we are unlimited beings and powerful conscious creators. Now let's illustrate this another way to really solidify your understanding of it. At the highest level and the highest frequency of our consciousness is the soul, which is eternally aligned with our limitless ability to create. Remember, it exists beyond what we call the veil of the time and space reality that defines our physical world. And again, below that is the higher mind, which sets the stage for our seemingly limited physical experience via the archetypal blueprints for the incarnation, and whose enlightened template beliefs are fully aligned with the soul's understanding that we are magnificent co-creators with Source. The physical mind comprises our beliefs, emotions, and thoughts, our ego self. The unconscious component of our physical mind is capable of receiving the higher mind's understanding of who we are via the imagination, but it must break through the filters of the shadow beliefs of our archetypes, plus the limiting beliefs we adopt during our lives. These are the beliefs that lead us to feel disempowered and to choose limiting experiences. Our unconscious beliefs largely drive how we feel, how we think, and how we act, which then determines, through the law of attraction, our life experiences, such as how much abundance of health, money, and satisfying relationships we have. When the physical mind's beliefs about who we are and how the world works are out of sync with what the higher mind knows to be true, that we are magnificent beings with the tremendous power of co-creation, then we are limiting the unlimited. Although we are not consciously aware of this, our unconscious and subconscious minds are aware, and this dichotomy shows up in our thoughts and feelings as some form of fear, such as worry, anger, resentment, judgment, and so on. And when we go through life perceiving that we are separate from Source and feeling the negative emotion and thought that accompanies this perspective, we manifest circumstances we would prefer not to have, such as poor health, financial lack, and challenging relationships. This is where we get in our own way when we're trying to manifest something intentionally. Because law of attraction works 100% of the time, it responds to our vibration 100% of the time. So it's much more difficult to manifest something we want when the unconscious mind is constantly running programs of limiting belief that deny our very co-creative ability. But when our physical mind fully understands that we truly are one with all that is, and all of its creative potential, and when we consciously create our lives from this place of awareness, that's when the results we seek start to flow more easily. That's when synchronicities show up to bring us the loving relationships, good health, financial abundance, and whatever else we seek. Why? Because when we achieve alignment between the enlightened beliefs of the higher mind and the physical mind, we eliminate all resistance to the natural flow of abundance in our lives. Yes, it's our internal resistance based on what we believe to be true that slows or stops the flow of abundance. But from the place of alignment, we get out of our own way and allow the higher mind's concept for a life of joy and abundance to work unhindered. So how do we reprogram the unconscious mind to shift those limiting beliefs that we're not even aware we have? Well, there are a number of very successful techniques. One of the simplest ways I've found is to frequently use a mantra that affirms what the soul knows to be true, that at the heart of it, we are divine love, divine compassion, divine forgiveness, divine abundance, and divine joy. We are one with all that is, and the more we affirm it, the more the unconscious mind comes to believe it. Eventually, we have our complete belief in our divine magnificence driving our lives 95% of the time. Other helpful practices include the Hawaiian tradition of Ho'oponopono, which clears our attachments to limiting perspectives, such as a victim mentality. I won't go into that here, but I highly recommend you look it up. In addition, daily meditation, even for a few minutes, is always very helpful in quieting and shifting the mind. You might also choose to engage a qualified energy healer who can help you target and clear unwanted energies and patterns in the body and mind, such as hypnotherapy, NLP, Reiki, and other techniques. And with any modality, it's very important to be conscious of where you place your attention. Unplug from sources of information that reinforce the limiting beliefs you're trying to overcome. If the information doesn't support the shifts you're trying to make, then don't pay attention to it. This includes the media, social media, and even relationships. There's plenty of affirmative and uplifting information out there, so choose it instead. Now, if you want to incorporate all of the above, check out the Quantum Connection experience, which takes you on a journey of connection with your higher self. Through a guided program that incorporates quantum hypnosis and intuitive energy movement, QCE enables us to bypass the filters and limiting beliefs of the unconscious mind so we can experience ourselves as our higher self sees us, whole, perfect, and abundant in every way. Visit patrickbatson.com for more details. Thanks for watching. I hope you came away with a higher perspective and perhaps some more passion and excitement for what's possible in your life. I want to give credit to the research and guidance that helped to inform this overview, including that of neuroscience and psychology researchers such as Dr. David Hawkins, Dr. Bruce Lipton, and Dr. Carolyn Mace, as well as more esoteric sources such as Bashar, who's channeled by Daryl Anka, and Alcazar, who's channeled by Prageet Harris and Julianne Conard. Thank you again, and I wish you blessings on your journey.